So I've been having issues with the battery in the car. It doesn't have a tie down or anything, and it like keeps fucking up. It keeps blowing fuses and shit, and that's mainly because of the ground. I'm gonna show you guys right now. So yeah, as you guys can tell from the title of the video, I'm gonna be relocating the battery. So basically what's been happening is, if you guys see, like right here, this is the chassis ground, and then I believe this other ground goes to the starter. But yeah, this like completely like burnt up, this piece here. Is it this piece or is it this piece? No, it's this piece. But anyways, there's no tie down for the battery. It's just sitting on a tray. None of my cars came with a tie down. This car actually didn't even come with a tray, and the other car didn't come with a tray either. So all I have is the battery tray. I don't have a tie down. And yeah, one time I took it to the mechanic, and this is when I had the old motor in, and I took it to the mechanic because of the compression issues, and I didn't know it was bad compression at the time. So I was like, why not pay somebody to figure this shit out for me? And basically what happened was, something happened and the ground burned up like super bad, and they kept blowing fuses. I couldn't even drive the car back home. Had to get it towed, and it's basically because of this whole setup here. So I'm gonna be taking the setup out of the other car and relocating it to the trunk. It's either gonna go, I think this is the only place that it's gonna fit. So it's probably gonna go in here. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the mat though. It would be nice to have like a smaller battery and then put it here, but. So here's how it looks with the battery back here. It literally fits perfect. I mean, it has some room to move around and whatnot. I wanted to make like a bracket that's gonna hold it down, but honestly, with how it is here, I really don't think this is gonna like flop out of place. It might move around a little bit, but maybe I can come up with something to have it a little more secure, but I'm honestly happy with how it is. It's not gonna fall over and rip any wires or anything. I just took my floor mat and I lift up the wood underneath, and I just folded it underneath the wood and then set it back down. I can probably get it folded a little better than this, but I'm honestly really happy with how it looks and whatnot. I'll still be able to store a whole bunch of shit back here, and I'll have the battery back here too. And I don't know what orientation I'm going with. I'm probably gonna have it like this, with the positive up here and the negative back here. We'll see. I'm thinking about having the negative run back here or something, and like grounding out somewhere. I know that there's like an inner frame here. I could probably have it ground out there, and then I'll have the cable run through. So here's the whole kit that I'm going to be using. I don't know what gauge. Okay, so this is 2 gauge wire, 2 gauge. This is basically going to go here in this junction here. So this is like, you can probably get this at like an audio store for really cheap. This is just what the other guy had. Has this little cover on here, and then got this little box that you can put 2 screws through to hold it down. I'm probably gonna put like double-sided tape because it's gonna be in the engine bay. So here the guy already snipped the wire for, this would be for the starter. So you have this wire here. This is your starter signal. It's this little plug. It goes down and it goes onto your starter signal. And then this is your starter power wire, which on the end he snipped off. This would usually go to the positive on the battery, and he snipped the end off and put it in here. So I'm literally just going to reuse what he snipped off instead of snipping off what I have. And so that's that part done. And then you have the battery ground with this cheap terminal here, but I'm going to be using this. And even though it's kind of skinny, I'm probably going to be upgrading this wire here. And then we have, what's next? Actually, yeah, that's it. Oh wait, no, there's going to be a wire that you have to snip for the fuse box to get power, and that's this one here. So I'm going to have to go in and cut that wire and get it ready to be put in. This wire that goes to the fuse box, it's this white wire. You can trace it and it goes straight to the fuse box. I literally just cut it at the end here on my terminal. My terminal might be different than yours. I don't think this is factory, but I just cut it on the end of here, and there's a decent amount of copper showing, so I won't have to do any more to this wire here. And then I have the power wire for the starter, and it runs all the way down to the starter. And so I have it unhooked from the starter. Now you don't have to do this. If you want to just cut this end off here, and then this ground here, you can undo this ground from the harness and then put this ground like on the firewall. I mean, not the firewall, but the frame rail, which is what I'm gonna do. But since this one's already prepared and ready to go, I'm just gonna use this harness here, and that's why I'm swapping mine out. So this is ready to come out. I'm just gonna pull it out. Should be. It's gonna be a hassle with all these wires and stuff, which is why we're deleting most of it. But yeah, so all this is, and you would have a ground, like I said, this ground was messed up, so it's already off. Now with this ground, what you can do is just unhook it from here, and really you don't need this anymore unless you want to reuse it for some reason. But me personally, this is all fucked up. I'm not going to reuse it, so I'm going to unbolt this, take off this ground, and then put this back where it belongs on the firewall here. I'm probably gonna clean it up. If there isn't any metal showing, I'm gonna clean it up, and then yeah, this part just get rid of. And then for me, everything else should be pretty simple, just hooking it back up and running those wires back down, and I'll get back to you guys when I do that. So I got the starter wires hooked up, and I have it ran down on this OEM holder here, and I have it ran up behind this bracket here. I don't think the stock cars have this bracket, but this is for my intake. And then from this side, I took this here and I put it in this loom here, this like holder here, and then it's ran right here underneath the intake. And then I have, this wire was long and I didn't want to cut it short. This is your fuse box wire, also your alternator wire technically. And I have the box sitting here, and I might put it somewhere else. I plan on running a different intake too, so I guess I'll move it whenever I run a different intake. But now I got to figure out the main power wire that goes to the back. So yeah, I got to figure out the main power wire that goes to the back. And what I usually do whenever I'm hooking up audio is I take like a metal coat hanger, and you want to run the end. You want to take the metal coat hanger, and I usually tape it, use electrical tape, and I tape it on the end here, and it'll stick out like a little bit, like kind of want to say like a couple inches to a foot. And then once you have that taped to your wire, feed the coat hanger through. I just poke like a hole through the grommet. I've never had any water or moisture leak in, but you can do it how you want. So I poke a hole through that grommet and then go on the inside and try to find that coat hanger and just pull it through. Once you got it pulled through, you can untape the coat hanger and pull it all the way through to the back. But I don't have a coat hanger, so I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. I'll pick back up once I get it through the firewall. All right, so I got it through partially. Here's how it looks. Let me see if I can give you guys a video. So I'm just gonna tape it up with the current loom. Once I get it in fully, it'll clean it up. And then here it is on this side. It's all the way up there behind the your AC fan. And I use this rod here. This is like a file. Now coat hanger is preferred, but I use a file. Use this file. This is all I had. And I just electrical taped it on the end there, and I pulled it through. And yeah, I had to get this panel underneath off. This panel here, it goes underneath, and then there's a plug right there. And yeah, I pulled it through. So I'm gonna take this screw out for this trim piece here, and I'm gonna fold this carpet back, and I'm gonna run it up along here, something like that. I'm gonna run it along here in this well, not in this, there's a little like the harness is in like a plastic piece here underneath the carpet, but I'm gonna run it along somewhere along the bottom. I'm gonna run it all the way through to the back, and I'm gonna have it come up under the seat and then from under the seat into the trunk. So I tucked it in as best as I could. I pulled it fully through. I took these trims off here, and I have it sitting on top of this box here. And there's like a plastic that holds in the harness. If you can get it in there, that would be your best bet. But I don't feel like pulling apart my seats and the carpet and all that trim, so ran it in through here. It's pretty much like along this side here, above the seatbelt, and then I have it like coming down here. There's like a little pocket down here that I tucked it in, and then it comes up and just through where the back seat goes. Honestly, this should be fine. The back seat should cover it. And I have some like this material here that the previous owner put on the back seat, so I left it, and usually it's just straight up metal underneath, but I don't mind having this, so I left it. And basically I'm just gonna pull this end through underneath the seat, and it's just gonna come out over there. I'm probably in a later like date, I'm probably gonna tuck it up and make it look a little nicer, but honestly this is just to fix my whole wiring issue and the bad terminals and stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna put the seat back, or I'm gonna pull it through, and then I'm gonna put the seat back, and I'm gonna put this trim back and that trim and the lower piece. So I got the interior put back together, put this trim here, put the this upper piece here. Everything went back together smoothly. I didn't have any issues getting any of the trims on. This trim here is you can kind of see the wire a little bit bulging, but honestly it's not that bad. It tucked nicely under the seat. Seats are good. So interior's back together. Ran the cable through underneath these back seats here, and I have it coming in through here like this. And there's definitely a lot of extra wire. I hooked back up the terminal, and yeah, it's looking good so far. I'm just gonna have it coming out how it is, like maybe down here or something like that. And I just have to figure out what I'm gonna do for the ground here, and then I also need to put an engine ground. Very important. Here's how the engine bay looks. It's tucked in here. I'm gonna eventually tape that up, but I have zip ties here, one here, one here, and I have the box right here. It's all hooked up, cover's on, but you do need a ground. There needs to be a ground on the starter right here where I'm pointing, and it needs to ground somewhere, so I need to do that ground, and then I have to do the ground for the battery, and then after that it's done. Okay, so I flipped the battery around because the ground was too short. I put the ground right here, and I scuffed it up a little bit with a wire brush, but I'm gonna have to go back home. I have a drill with a wire wheel attachment, and I'm just gonna clean that up more because the ground, I don't trust it with, I didn't get enough paint off. So, but that's how it sits now. And then for the front here, I just put the ground back where the starter is. I gotta tighten that bolt, but I ran it through the loom, and the loom comes up, and then I have it come out here, and it's literally where the what is that, the charcoal canister, it's at that behind the little bracket for the charcoal canister, the wire. So I just got to tighten that up. I can take that tray and stuff out now. Hopefully it starts, but I know I got to clean up those grounds for it to be perfect. Took the tray out. I can show off my awesome rust spot here. Oh yeah, they all rust there. But yeah, tray is out. That's how the engine bay looks. I tightened up that bolt. I closed the trunk, I don't know why. Here's how the trunk looks. Looks pretty good, looks pretty good. I like it. So, yep, that's how the trunk looks. All right, hopefully it starts. It's the moment of truth. And nothing. Yeah. It's not getting good contact for the ground. All right, so I cleaned up both the grounds pretty good. I cleaned that ground up. I put it back together, but clean that ground up, and clean the ground up. There you see the blue. It's my ring terminal. So I cleaned that ground up too. I just used a drill with a wire wheel attachment, and I just went crazy, and the light's back on in the trunk, so the ground's good. Let's try to turn it over and see what happens. Oh, well, that's a start. Now my alternator reads a little low. Oh, it's going up now. But normally it reads lower than that, and that's because I have a whole bunch of oil caked on the alternator. Ground's not hot here, just touching and feeling. Power wire's not hot either. Over here. Alright, so none of my ground wires are hot or anything, none of the power wires are hot, so looks like it's good. And I'm just gonna put all the interior back together and tighten these up. Alright, so it's running pretty good. Alternator's reading higher, which is good, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. Like I said, alternator's kind of dying on me, so. But that's gonna be it for the video. It's gonna be a short video. I'm working on a longer video, but I'm just waiting. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm waiting to get that done, so that's going to be out for next week. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, please subscribe, like, and drop a comment.